You are sitting in a coffee shop, and you connect to the free Wi-Fi. A little voice in your head, trained by 1,000 ads, says, "Turn on your VPN or strangers will steal your passwords." So you tap the button, a shield lights up green, and you relax. Here is the uncomfortable truth. That green shield did not do most of what you think it did. It did not stop malware. It did not stop phishing. It did not make you anonymous. And the website you are worried about? Its connection was already encrypted before the VPN ever turned on. A VPN is a genuinely useful tool, but it's also one of the most oversold products in all of technology. So in the next few minutes, let us do something the ads never do. Let us follow one person on one coffee shop network and figure out exactly what a VPN protects, what it absolutely does not, and when it is actually worth paying for. First, let us be fair to the VPN, because the pitch is seductive for a reason. The story you have been told goes like this. Public Wi-Fi is a dark alley full of hackers. The moment you join, invisible attackers are sniffing the air, reading every site you open and every password you type. And the VPN is the bodyguard that wraps you in, quote, military-grade encryption, so nobody can touch you. Now, parts of that story used to be much more true than they are today, and we will give the VPN full credit for the parts that are still real. But notice what the pitch quietly implies, that without a VPN you are naked, and with one you are safe. Both halves of that are wrong. You are not naked without it, and you are very much not bulletproof with it. To see why, we first have to understand what a VPN actually is, mechanically, underneath the marketing. So here is the real machine, with no glow and no shield icon. Normally, your laptop talks to a website by handing your traffic to the local network, the coffee shop router, then out through an internet provider, and onto the site. A VPN adds one step in the middle. Before any of your traffic leaves your laptop, the VPN software wraps it in an encrypted tunnel and sends it to one specific place first, the VPN company's server, somewhere else in the world. That server unwraps your traffic and forwards it on to the real website on your behalf. The reply comes back the same way, through the server, through the tunnel to you. That is the entire trick. A VPN is a relay. It takes everything you do and routes it through a different network that you have chosen, instead of the one you happen to be sitting on. Hold on to that one word, relay, because every honest claim and every false claim about VPNs falls out of it. Now, back to our coffee shop. What can the person at the next table, or the network owner, actually see when you have no VPN at all? Far less than the ads imply, and here is why. Almost the entire web now runs on HTTPS. That little padlock means the connection between your browser and the website is already encrypted, end to end, before a VPN is anywhere in the picture. By most measurements, well over 90% of web traffic is HTTPS today. So when you log into your bank on open Wi-Fi, the person sniffing the air does not see your password. They do not see the contents of the page. That is already scrambled by HTTPS, not by any VPN. So the dramatic image of a hacker plucking your banking password out of the air at a cafe is, for modern HTTPS sites, mostly a story from an older internet. The encryption that protects the actual content was already there. So if HTTPS already hides the contents, what is left for a VPN to protect on that coffee shop network? The answer is the metadata. HTTPS encrypts what you send, but it does not hide where you are sending it. The local network can still see the destination, the domain names you look up through DNS, the addresses you connect to, and a field in the connection setup called SNI, which often spells out the exact site in the clear. So without a VPN, the coffee shop and anyone watching that local network can build a list of which sites you visit, even if they cannot read what you do there. This is the first thing a VPN genuinely protects. By wrapping everything in that tunnel to the VPN server, it hides those destinations from the local network to the coffee shop. Your traffic now looks like one long encrypted stream to a single server, and nothing more. The local snoop loses the list of where you have been. Here is the second thing a VPN genuinely does, and it is the one people care about most. It hides your real IP address from the websites you visit. Your IP address is the return address your device uses on the internet, and it roughly reveals your location and your internet provider. Normally, a website sees your real IP directly, but with a VPN, The site only ever sees the VPN server's address because the server is the one actually fetching the page for you. So a site in one country can be made to think you are connecting from another. This is why VPNs are genuinely useful for privacy from the sites themselves and for reaching content that is locked to a particular region. So let us bank the honest ones. On an untrusted network, a VPN hides which sites you visit from the people around you, and it hides your real IP and location from the sites you reach. Real, specific, useful. Now let us be just as honest about everything it does not do. Start with the biggest myth, that a VPN keeps you safe from getting hacked. It does not, and the reason is baked into what a VPN is. Remember, a VPN is a relay. It encrypts your traffic and forwards it. It does not look at the contents to decide whether they are dangerous. So if you download a file laced with malware, the VPN will faithfully, securely, deliver that malware straight to your laptop. If you visit a malicious website, the VPN carries you there just as politely as it carries you to your bank. A VPN is a private, armored tunnel, but it does not care what is driving through it. It moves bad traffic with exactly the same diligence as good traffic. Antivirus, software updates, and basic caution are what address malware. A VPN is simply the wrong tool for that job, and any ad that hints otherwise is selling you a feeling, not a fact. Next, phishing, which is how an enormous share of real-world break-ins actually begin. Picture our coffee shop user getting an email that looks like it is from their bank. There is a problem. Log in here to fix it. They click, they land on a page that looks perfect, and they type in their username and password. Now ask yourself, where was the VPN in that story? It was on the whole time. It dutifully encrypted the connection and carried the user to the fake site, and then it dutifully and securely delivered their password to the attacker. The tunnel worked flawlessly. It just connected the victim to a thief. A VPN has no idea whether the site on the other end is real or a clever fake. It cannot tell a genuine login page from an imposter. So it offers exactly zero protection against the single most common way people lose their accounts. That defense comes from you, from a password manager, and from strong multi-factor authentication, not from a tunnel. Here is the one that surprises people the most. A VPN does not make you anonymous, and it barely slows down most tracking. Think about what actually happens online. You open a VPN, your IP is hidden, and then you log into your email, and your social media, and your favorite shopping site. The moment you log in, that company knows exactly who you are. Your account is your name tag. The hidden IP address is irrelevant now. On top of that, advertisers track you across the web using cookies, tracking pixels, and a technique called fingerprinting, which identifies your specific device by its quirks. As the EFF puts it plainly, a VPN is not a tool for anonymity. It changes one number, your IP address. It does nothing about the cookies in your browser, the accounts you are logged into, or the fingerprint of your device. If your goal is to truly disappear, a consumer VPN is not the tool, and believing that it is can be genuinely dangerous. The whole thing, the part the ads work hardest to keep quiet. When you use a VPN, you do not remove the watcher from your traffic. You simply change who it is. Without a VPN, your internet provider can see the destinations you connect to. With a VPN, your provider is blinded. But now every single thing you do flows through the VPN company's servers instead. And that company can see all of it, the sites you reach when and for how long. As the EFF says, while a VPN hides your browsing data from your provider, it is all visible to the VPN provider. So you have not deleted the surveillance. You have moved it. The real question is not, do I want to be watched or not? The honest question is, whom do I trust more to watch me? The coffee shop network and my internet provider, or this particular VPN company I am about to hand my entire internet life to? Which leads straight to the phrase plastered across every VPN homepage: no logs. The promise is that the company keeps no record of what you do, so even if someone demands the data, there is nothing to hand over, and a genuine no logs policy is valuable. But sit with the problem. A no logs claim is exactly that, a claim. You cannot see inside the company's servers. You are trusting a private business whose entire revenue depends on sounding trustworthy to tell you the truth about the one thing you can never independently check. Some providers have backed it up with independent audits, which helps. But a VPN company faces the same legal pressures your internet provider does. Governments can compel data. Companies get bought, change owners, and quietly rewrite their policies. So you are not buying a mathematical guarantee. You are buying a promise from a specific company, and that promise is only ever as good as that company's word and its track record. Let's also retire that phrase you have heard 100 times, military-grade encryption. It sounds impressive, and it means almost nothing. The strong encryption that VPNs use is the very same standard encryption that already protects HTTPS, your messaging apps, and online banking. It is excellent, it is everywhere, and it is not special to VPNs. No serious break-ins happen because someone cracked that math by brute force. They happen through stolen passwords, phishing, unpatched software, and human mistakes, none of which a VPN touches. So when an ad leans on military-grade encryption to suggest you are now uniquely protected, it is dressing up the ordinary as the extraordinary. The encryption was never the weak link. A VPN changes the route your traffic takes and who can see it. It does not, and cannot, make you a harder target for the attacks that actually compromise people. So after all that, is a VPN ever actually worth it? Yes, absolutely. When you use it for what it really does, instead of what the ads pretend it does, it is genuinely worth it in a few specific situations. First, on networks you truly do not trust, where you would rather the local operator not even see the list of sites you visit. Second, when you want to hide your real IP and location from the websites you use for ordinary privacy. Third, for getting around censorship or region locks by routing your connection through a server in another place, which is one of the uses privacy advocates like the EFF explicitly endorse. And fourth, the original purpose, securely reaching a private network, like your employer's internal systems while you travel. Notice the pattern. Every honest use is about where your traffic is routed and who can see it. That is the real product. Buy that, and a VPN is money well spent. So let us bring our coffee shop user home with a clear picture. A VPN protects two real things. It hides which sites you visit from the local network you are on, and it hides your real IP and location from the sites you reach. It does not stop malware. It does not stop phishing. It does not make you anonymous once you log in. And it does not remove the watcher. It just moves it to a company whose no logs promise you have to take on faith. So the takeaway is not throw your VPN away, and it is certainly not a VPN keeps you safe. It is this: a VPN is a routing and privacy tool, not a security blanket. Use it on untrusted networks, for IP privacy, and to get around blocks. For everything else, the real protection is unique passwords, multi-factor authentication, updates, and a healthy suspicion of links. If this made that green shield make a bit more sense, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next breakdown.